the body. With any luck, the marquess would be convinced to purchase Colin's antiquities for an exorbitant sum, and perhaps he would fund their next adventure as well. "I've always wanted to see London," Deb remarked, turning again to the spyglass. Ah. They had meant to arrive at the height of the season, but storms had thwarted their travel. Now it was August, and the season had ended. Thankfully, Colin's old friend, Nicholas Eastwood, had informed him where Chatwell would be, if not in London. How Nick could predict the Marquess's movements was a mystery, as was how he had known Colin's whereabouts to receive the letter in the first place. It was better not to ask too many questions of Nick. Colin cleared his throat. "About that, there's been a slight change in plans. Chatwell is no longer in London. He's taking the waters at Bath." "Taking the waters?" Deb asked blankly. "Taking them where?" "Down his throat, more's the pity. The water tastes and smells awful, but it's thought to cure a whole host of ailments." "Well," Deb said cheerfully, because Deb was always cheerful, rather determinedly so, unless a python was about. "Bath sounds like a fine place. It must be fine, for the marquess to stay. Have you been there?" Colin shook his head. Why go to Bath? He imagined it was exactly like London, but smaller. Likely it was dirtier too, despite the name. Deb grinned. "It will be an adventure then." "An adventure? In England?" Colin snorted derisively. "I promise you, there is no such thing." Chapter 2. Lady Claire Harrison, daughter of the Marquess of Chatwell, granddaughter of the Duke of Albright, the butler proclaimed. It was, quite tediously, the 537th time Claire had heard herself announced in those exact terms. But it was the first in the drawing-room of her dear friend, Adelaide Bursnell, now Mrs. Eastwood, so she supposed that was something, anyhow. "Claire!" Adelaide seized Claire's gloved hands in hers. "I am so glad you came." "It is good to see you, Adelaide." Claire glanced to where her friend's husband was greeting her father. "Are we very early? Papa was too excited to wait." "It is never too early for friends." Adelaide tucked her arm through Claire's and led her into the drawing-room. "Mr. Smith is still setting his displays, but you are not the first to arrive. Alice and Eliza are already here." Claire craned her neck to see the two ladies huddled close together, whispering. She was not surprised to see Alice, who was Adelaide's identical twin, as she'd had news of Viscount Abingdon's arrival with his wife. "I had not realised Eliza was in Bath." "She only just arrived." "Is Wessex here as well?" It was Claire's experience that wherever Miss Eliza Benton went, the Duke of Wessex was not far behind, much to Eliza's eternal consternation. "No," Adelaide laughed. "He had business to tend to at his estate in Derbyshire." "He must be terribly bored, I'm afraid." "Indeed," her friend said and laughed again. "Nick is really quite delighted about it." Before Claire could ask her why, she heard a soft, sweet voice say, "Adelaide." They both turned to see a woman with brown skin and deep brown eyes. She wore a dress the colour of sunshine, made in the current English style. Her shiny black hair, however, was not, and hung in a thick braid that reached to her waist. "Pardon me, Adelaide, but my brother says Colin is ready," the woman said in an accent that sounded English but also somehow not. Adelaide clapped her hands happily. "Ah, wonderful! Lady Claire, may I introduce Miss Ria Mukherjee? Her brother, Mr.